Hey, what's up guys, it's DarkArmedDuelist, and today we're going to be doing some Harpie test hands. I wanted to test this deck again because we got Cyber/Harpie Lady, which is really weird and random that we got a Synchro monster for Harpies. Now they have Synchro, XYZ, and Link Summoning. I mean, what else are we going to get? A Ritual Harpie Lady? That'd be kind of weird, but I don't know. This deck is really neat. I really made a lot of changes to this deck since the last time that you guys saw this in the test hand video, this is actually the first ever repeat test hand that we've ever done on the channel, which is kind of interesting and kind of a really cool milestone for the test hand series that we're doing a repeat. I did this one in August and wanted to do an update of it because of the Cyber/Harpie Lady, because I changed the deck so drastically from what it was before. I just wanted to show you guys how to play it now because it's really different. So without further ado guys, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell on there so you can come part of the notification squad, and definitely check out the Patreon down in the description below because we got some awesome rewards you guys, like getting your name description for every single video, getting a signed card to the mail, or even getting to request a deck profile just like this one every single month that you're a patron, along with test hands just like this video. So without further ado guys, let's get straight on into this. And as you guys have probably seen, this deck has been getting a lot of attention on my channel recently, with Savannah playing it in the live duels, which is really fun. I really enjoy those live duels. Definitely tell us what you guys think of those live duels down in the comments down below, and tell us what you think of these test hands as well too. So we're going to go ahead and shuffle the deck up really quick and then give it a quick pile shuffle. Now I did change this deck up quite a lot, okay? So I actually changed probably around 10 or so cards in the whole deck, which is over a fourth, or right at a fourth of the deck. So I figured I would go ahead and do a updated test hand of this, especially with how much this deck is actually getting attention with the new Cyber/Harpie Lady. It just is an overall really cool deck that summons some of the coolest Winged Beast monsters in the entire game of Yu-Gi-Oh!, which came out of my favorite set, which was Metal Raiders. Back in 2002, which is like my hands down favorite set of Yu-Gi-Oh! Like if I could get a hold of a box of that at one point, I would totally do it and open it. But let's go ahead. I don't even know if I'd open it. I'd probably just keep it sealed. But let's go ahead and see what we can actually pull off with this. So let's go ahead and draw. So for our first card, we're going to draw into a Hysteric Sign. We're going to draw into a Harpie's Feather Storm, Barrier Statue of Storm Winds, Harpie Lady Dancer, and a copy of Perfumer. So this is not the most optimal hand, but by far compared to what it used to be, this is a pretty decent hand. So we're going to go ahead and activate the copy of Hysteric Party. So Hysteric Party is going to let us grab a card from our deck. And yes, we are playing the vanilla Harpie Lady in this build. So we're going to go ahead and drop the copy of the Elegant Egotist, which we're going to go right back in. So I don't even know why I'm bothering shuffling. We're going to go ahead and add this from deck to hand. Normal summon out our copy of Perfumer. Perfumer has the ability that you can add a card from your deck to your hand that specifically lists a Harpie Lady or Harpie Lady Sisters. So we're going to go ahead and grab a copy of Elegant Egotist, or excuse me, Harpie Lady Sisters. So once we grab that copy of Harpie, or the Elegant Egotist, we can use that with our two copies of Elegant Egotist in our hand because it's not once per turn. So we're going to go ahead and activate Elegant Egotist number 1 and Elegant Egotist number 2. You can't chain to them, but I'm just going ahead and saying we're activating both of them because we're in a test hand. You'd activate one, get the monster, and then activate the second one and get the monster. But you can only special summon out Harpie Lady, so it's either Harpie Lady 1, Cyber Harpie Lady, or Harpie Lady, the vanilla one. But we're going to go ahead and special summon out 2 vanilla Harpie Ladies. Yes, we play the OG Harpie Lady in this deck. I wanted to play it in this deck because I really think that it's a cool idea. I actually have a patron that's in my Discord. If you guys want to get into the Discord, you can definitely check out the Patreon to get into it. But I have a patron who actually showed me a Harpie build, and I took inspiration from that. So quick shout out to them of playing the vanilla Harpie Ladies in the deck. And I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. I like that aspect. So I went ahead and did that. So thank you. I appreciate it. You're going to go ahead and set this face down. And then if you want to, you can take these 2 monsters. Now, the neat thing, I want to show you guys how to summon out your copy of your Cyber/Harpie Ladies. This card's really neat. It is a synchro monster, and we don't play a single tuner in the deck. So how do you summon it? So its ability states that for the synchro summon of this card, you can treat one Harpie monster you control as a tuner. So I can take this one, say it's a tuner, or it's a tuner. And I can just take these 2 monsters and say, okay, through level 8, summon these, summon out the Cyber/Harpie Lady. So you can instantly get her out onto your side of the field, and she has a really nifty effect that says that while this card's on the field, or in this card's name becomes Harpie Lady while in the field or in the graveyard, which they all share that ability. She also has the ability that when a spell, trap, or effect is activated, any card effect that is activated, you can quick effect, target a monster your opponent controls, or a Harpie monster you control, and return it to the hand. And you can activate her effect once per turn. So she's essentially a walking compulsory evacuation device, which is kind of cool. I like that ability, especially with the Perfumer and the copy of like Dancer being able to bounce herself, and then be able to bounce a card, which is pretty cool. And then you also have the Featherstorm that'll negate monster effects as well. So that's your first test hand. It's not too bad. Instead of summoning her, you could go for this other play. This is Savannah's favorite play, as you guys have probably seen in the live duels. But you can just overlay these if you're going to go a little bit defensive. And you can just immediately summon out a copy of your Phantasmal Dragon here if you want to go defensive because it can't be attacked or targeted by card effects while it has a material. Or you can go this route. If you didn't have the Stormwind in your hand is still okay. You can link these 3 away if you want to link these 3 away. And summon out another card, which is our copy of the Smorg Link monster, which during the end phase, since we have 3 zones that are unoccupied, and since it's the first turn, our opponent wouldn't have these zones occupied, you could special summon out your Stormwinds from the deck or your hand, I believe. Let me double check and make sure you can special summon from your hand. You special summon a Wing Beast monster from your hand or deck. Yeah, hand or deck. I know it's from deck, but I had to make sure about hand. But basically, you can special summon this out, and then your opponent has to deal with this in order to, you know, get past your field where they can special summon other cards besides Wind. So it depends on what you're playing against. This card's really, really busted and really good. You can also use the copy of Harpie's Featherstorm, which would negate monster effects that are activated, which is pretty good as well. And then next turn, you're going to draw into a regular vanilla Harpie Lady, which is not that great. You don't want to draw into her. You usually just want to special summon her off of Egotist or Unexpected Die. So let's go ahead and do our next test hand, but that's pretty much how the deck plays now. It's really different from the way it used to play. Like, to me, I used to play all the time. I used to just summon out Phantasmal Dragon and then just go. Like, that was just it. But now you have so many different plays from what it used to be that it's actually kind of crazy with Smorg stuff going on and going into, you know, Harpie's Pet Dragon plays like old school way and summoning your copy of Mechaphan Beast Draco Sack, and then going from there. I mean, there's just so many cool plays in this deck. So let's go ahead and see what we can do for this next test hand. So for the next one, we're going to draw Perfumer again, Ash, Called by the Grave, which is our 1/0 now, Harpie Queen, and an Unexpected Die. So this is pretty good. You get 3 Harpies as well with this hand, which is what you're trying to do usually. So you can immediately go Unexpected Die first. Go this first. Always do this first. If you don't control a monster, you can special summon a normal monster from the deck. So we're going to special summon out a regular Harpie Lady. This is really cool too because it can bait out hand traps, which is kind of cool if you don't need the extra Harpie Lady. You can go ahead and activate the Call by the Grave because they're going to try and hand trap this if they have an Ash. And then once you do that, you can go into the copy of Perfumer. So Perfumer is going to help us out a lot because she's going to grab the copy of Egotist, which then you can activate and special summon out another copy of Harpie Lady out to your side of the field, which gets you 3 Harpies again. Guess what? That's really cool. Go ahead and ditch the copy of Queen from your hand and then add from deck to hand the field spell, which is Harpie Hunting Ground. Since we don't have any more summons during this turn, that's totally fine. So we can go ahead and activate the Hunting Ground, and then you can link these 3 together, which is my preferred play. Summon out the copy of the Smorg Link monster, and then put out the Barrier statue on our side of the field. Now, see how I did that? I actually put that on the bottom of the deck so we can keep going, but I really didn't. That was just total luck. But now that your opponent has to deal with this, you have the Ash to stop your opponent. Like if you're playing against heroes and they normal summon a Stratos, you can just ditch the Ash, negate it, and then during main phase 2, they can go into all their plays. But since they don't set back row, when you go into the end phase, the really cool thing is this activates during your end phase and during your opponent's end phase. So during my end phase, I special summon out the Stormwinds, but during my opponent's end phase, I special summon out this. I special summon out the Harpie Perfumer, which will then give me another search, which is why I play 3 Egotists in this deck now, because I'll get the copy of Egotist out of the deck, which then during my turn, I can activate the copy of Egotist on my side of the field, which, excuse me, I would draw first, which is really important. Don't forget to draw. So you draw into the copy of Harpist, which then at this point you could special summon out the copy of Egotist. I did not mean to do that. That was actually on the bottom again. That is just heart of the cards right there. We're going to go ahead and normal summon out the copy of Harpie Harpist, switch these monsters to attack position, and then now, since we have the Barrier statue, you can still special summon stuff, but just nothing but Wind. If you want to, you can get rid of this if you want to by overlaying. I think we can go into Phantasmal if you want to go into Phantasmal, or you could link into the Harpie Conductor. If you want to go that route, you could overlay these 2 monsters and go into a copy of Lightning Chidori and bounce something, and then you could overlay these 2 monsters down here and go into your copy of Utopia Double, and then you bounce something, and if they have any monster on their side of the field, you can then detach a material, which is going to be your Harpie Harpist, which is then going to get you a search during the end phase. Search out of your deck your copy of Double or Nothing, and then overlay on top of your copy of the Utopia Double into a copy of number 39, attack your opponent. detach a material from it, drop the double or nothing, swing for 10,000, and then you still have the 1900 and the 2400 on the field. And don't forget that your Harpie's hunting ground is mandatory, so you have to pop the hunting ground if they don't have a spell or trap. So that is mandatory, so that's something that you need to keep in mind when you're playing Harpies. So that's it for that test hand. Let's go into another and see what we can do. Like, I feel like almost like Thor during the Avengers. Another throws down the goblet. So let's go ahead and see what we can do with this next one. So you've consistently out of 2 test hands, you've gotten 3 Harpies every single time, which is super important and really good for the deck. I highly recommend that you pile shuffle this deck, though, because you're playing so many Egotists and you're drawing them out of the deck as quickly as possible. Unless you're like me and you just really have been shuffling a long time. If you haven't been shuffling and you know you're inexperienced with shuffling, definitely make sure that you pile shuffle. I would probably pile shuffle if I wasn't doing test hands, but it's just something that I highly recommend that you guys do in between duels with this deck. So go ahead and draw, which we're going to draw into an Egotist. Speak of the devil, Hysteric Sign, a copy of Featherstorm, and a copy of Perfumer. Okay. With this hand, you have 4 Harpies. You have 4 Harpies on the field. It's really easy, and I'm going to show you how. So if we were going second, which you're probably not, I mean, in Harpies, you're usually going to want to go second anyways, but I'm going to show you guys what you could get. You get a Channeler. That'd be really big if you could get the Channeler. But we're going to go first. I'm just showing you guys what would happen. You can normal summon out the Channeler, discard the Perfumer, and then special summon a Pet Dragon, link and summon, and just go off. Like, you could really go off with that hand. So we're just going to go ahead and do it this way. So we're going to normal summon out the Perfumer, which, like, I don't know what it is. She just loves me or something. And we're going to go ahead and add from deck to hand a copy of Egotist. And then we're going to activate a copy of Hysteric Sign, which is going to get us an Egotist as well. Oh my god, we got another Egotist. Cool. This is why you play 3 Egotists now. Why I play 3 Egotists in my build. So we're going to go ahead and shuffle the deck up really quick. And we're going to resolve 3 Egotists. Egotist is not once per turn, because it's an old MRD card. And so you're going to resolve 3 of them on your turn, which is pretty cool. So we're going to go Egotist 1. Effect to special summon out a copy of the Vanilla Harpie Lady. This goes to grave. Egotist number 2, special summon out Harpie Lady. This goes to grave. And then special summon out Harpie Lady number 3, which is going to be right here. And this is going to go to grave too. And now you have 4 Harpie Lady monsters on your side of the field. Pretty good, huh? So, now that you have all these Harpies on the field, what are you going to do with them? We're going to, you can either link summon, you can go for your hot copy of your Cyber Slash Harpie Lady. You can go for that. You can go for a copy of your Phantasmal. If you want to go for Phantasmal, you can go for Phantasmal. You can go for the Smorgling. Like, the best 3 cards in the extra deck to go at this point is your Smorg, your copy of Phantasmal, or your Cyber Slash, which you could go Cyber Slash and a copy of Conductor if you want to go Cyber Slash, copy of Conductor. But you could go this route. But if we're going first, I would probably recommend going for the Smorgling monster, going with all 3 of these Harpie Ladies on our side of the field, just sending all 3 to graveyard, summoning out the Smorglink monster, and then once you do summon that Smorglink monster during the end phase, we're going to special summon out from our deck to our side of the field the barrier statue of Stormwinds, which is going to help us out quite a lot just to be able to make it so our opponent can't special summon. And then don't forget to set our copy of the Harpie's Feather Storm. So that's it for that test hand. That's all you can really do for that test hand. If you go into your next turn, you're going to draw into an Oracle, which then you can normal summon and link these 2 together, or contact, synchro thing. I don't even know what to call this. Treat one of them as a tuner and go for your copy of your Cyber Slash. And don't forget, during the end phase, you get a special summon off of every single end phase, which is crazy. So let's go ahead and see what we can do for the next one. Now this time, since I did get all 3 Egotists, I am going to pile shuffle it. But this deck is really cool. Like, as you can see, it's really consistent now. Like, it's really, really, really consistent at getting out your Harpie Ladies. It's really, really, really consistent at doing exactly what you need it to do to get those monsters out on your side of the field as quickly as possible. And it's just overall fun. Like, it's just overall fun to play around with, and I really thoroughly enjoy actually playing with Harpies. So let's go ahead and pile shuffle it, because we did get all those Egotists out from the deck. It's really important that you do this, because if you don't, you're gonna break with all those Egotists in the deck. I mean, you're not gonna break with them. As long as you have a Harpie in your hand, you're fine. But you don't want to draw out like 3 Harpie Lady vanilla monsters and then 3 Egotists, because then 3 of the cards in your hand are dead and you can only normal summon 1. It's just not a good time, I promise you. So go ahead and make sure that you pile shuffle. I cannot drive that point home enough. Dad rule number 1, or dad rule number 7, make sure you pile shuffle every game. Like, it's really important in between games. Make sure that you pile shuffle. Eventually, we're going to have an entire video of dad rules. Like, I really think that'd be fun and really a cool idea. We might do that at some point. So let's go ahead and see what we can do for the next one. So for the next video, or for the next test hand, let's see what we can do. So we're going to go ahead and draw into an unexpected die. Copy the barrier statue Stormwinds. That's the only time you, like, it's a garnet, but it's not a garnet at the same time. 2 ash and a copy of Perfumer. Perfumer, see, I'm telling you guys, Perfumer loves me. We're going to go ahead and activate the unexpected die. As soon as we do, we're going to grab a copy of the Vanilla Harpie Lady from our deck, normal summon out a copy of Perfumer, and then once you normal summon out the Perfumer, if they do ash either one of these cards, you're still okay because you're using the Perfumer or you're getting the unexpected die. It doesn't really matter. Get the copy of Egotist, activate the copy of Egotist, special summon from your deck another copy of a Harpie Lady, a Vanilla Harpie Lady from your deck. See, right there, make sure you pile shuffle. They were both at the top. We were going to draw them and then tuck her back in the deck somewhere. And then you can again go for the Smorg link, but in this particular scenario, let's do something a little different. Let's go ahead and link these two together and summon out our Cyber Slash to get us a bounce, and then you have the copy of Ash to back it up. You have the copy of Cyber Slash, and you have the Perfumer if you want to, or you can link summon like I normally do into the Smorg link, and then go from there. You have a lot of different plays that you can go from there. And the deck is really simple because you can just go, like, the hands go so fast that I think we're on, like, test hand number 6. Like, this deck is really fast now, too. Like, you don't stall. There's not a whole lot to the combo. You're just trying to throw as many Harpies on your side of the field as possible to get as many plays as possible, and then, you know, just go from there. And it works. It really works, which is kind of cool. So let's go ahead and see what we can do for the next one. So for the next one, we're going to go ahead and draw. We're going to draw into an Egotist. Not bad. Another copy of Egotist and a copy of Harpist, Harpie Lady, and a copy of Channeler. Okay, that's the first time we've drawn Channeler. Heck yeah. Finally. Okay, we're going to normal summon out Channeler. Channeler's really pivotal for the deck. So we're going to go ahead and discard the copy of Harpist. Once we discard that copy of Harpist, we're going to do something completely different from what we normally do. We're going to actually summon out a copy of Pet Dragon Big Boy the Dragon. Okay, now she becomes level 7 and it's level 7. But don't forget, you have 2 copies of your Harpie, your Elegant Egotist, which is going to get you 2 Harpie Ladies on your side of the field. So we can have some really neat plays here. So we're going to go ahead and special summon out one Harpie Lady and then our second Harpie Lady. Don't forget to let your opponent try and ash you if they want to. I hope they don't. I hope your opponent doesn't ash you, but it'll happen. So once you summon out these 2 out to your side of the field, you have that third Harpie Lady in your hand. Now you can take these 2 monsters and you can do some really cool stuff. You can either go for one of 3 monsters. You can either go for your Flare Metal, make it so your opponent every time they breathe, they take 500 points of damage. You can go for a copy of Draco Sack, which gets you 2 tokens, which gets you into your Smorg Link monster really easy. You can go into your copy of Big Eye, which is super helpful, but I would recommend going for the copy of Draco Sack. Now, once we go for Draco Sack, we're going to detach a material from this, and we're going to get 2 tokens on our side of the field, which is just going to go right here. And then we're going to link these 2 tokens away and the Draco Sack away to the graveyard, and we're going to, actually, excuse me, you can't do that because it has to be a Winged Beast monster, but you can still put the 2 Draco Sack tokens on your side of the field. Let me double check something really quick before we go any further, because I might be able to actually, nope, you can do it, never mind. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and go for the Harpie Conductor play instead, and we're going to summon the Harpie Conductor to our side of the field. Once you summon that Harpie Conductor, you can then link away the copy of Draco Sack, because it takes a Winged Beast monster and another monster on your side of the field to go for Smorg, because it requires 2+ monsters, including a Winged Beast monster. Go into the Smorg monster, link these 2 away, summon out your copy, or synchro summon away, into your copy of Cyber Slash, and then use the copy of Cyber Slash to be able to special summon out from your deck your Stormwinds, and then you have a bounce, and they can't special summon anything but wind. So you have more plays there. If you go into your next turn, we're going to go ahead and cut the deck, and then we're going to draw into a copy of Channeler, which is going to really help out the hand, which we're going to normal summon out the Channeler, discard the Harpie Lady. We also forgot to search off the copy of our Harpist, which actually I would have searched Channeler, so don't forget, if you do send from your hand to the graveyard, or if it goes to the graveyard at any point, your Harpie Harpist will get you a search. So we're going to search off the copy of Channeler. We already had this in our hand, so we're going to draw for turn now. Don't forget, we did draw for turn now, which is going to be an Ash Blossom, which is not that big of a deal. Go ahead and normal summon out the Channeler. Now ditch this to the graveyard, and you can then special summon out a Harpie monster, which can be your Perfumer. Perfumer will then search out a card from your deck, which you don't have any more Vanilla Harpie Ladies. That's something to keep in mind. But you can grab your copy of Valerian Mirror Split, which then you can activate. And then you have some really interesting plays as you can go from here. You can only special summon Wind because your copy of the Barrier Statues on your side of the field, but you can overlay these 2. And you can go in for a copy of your Lightning Chidori. You can go in for a copy of Tornado Dragon. It just depends on what you want to go for. I'd probably go for Lightning Chidori, get me a bounce, get a bounce off this, get 2. Switch this to attack, and then OTK my opponent, and you get a special summon off of this. But I totally forgot to actually special summon, which is totally fine. I mean, if you forget it, it happens, which would have got you the copy of Perfumer as well, which is just another bonus on our side of the field. So it's something I forget, like Scarm at the end of the turn. Like, it's just something that I just totally forget that it's on both players' turns. So that's it for this test hand, guys. I hope you did enjoy it. It's really a crazy deck to play around with now, as you guys saw. If you want to check out the deck down in the comments down below or down in the description below, you can definitely check that out. It is right down there in the description. You guys should totally check that out. And while you're down there in the description, don't forget to check out the Patreon as well for all those awesome rewards. And we'll see you guys in the next video. See you later, guys.